Welcome back from the break. We're here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel and we're talking about the different cancers that do affect men. Now, good news for the ladies. I'll tell you why. We've just heard from the good doctor that performance and the different cancers are technically not 100% related. I stand to be corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there's a myth about amongst a lot of ladies. And you know, the challenge is, you know, the power of women is so strong. Colin can tell you here. If a lady tells you where performance is concerned, you're gone, it melts a man. What do you have to tell your sisters out there?
Wow.
Be nice.
Well, what can I say? I want to believe that that sort of advice would come from someone who is your partner. Okay, so the best thing to tell your man is not to put them down, but do encourage them. The Movember campaign actually has space for more sisters. More sisters are the ladies who encourage their men to do the test.
Yeah.
So they are a support source, like their place to be.
Oh, great stuff.
Yes.
Now, Ransom, a lot of weighty stuff.
Yeah. Look, I think that's such an important thing that she said, and I mean to also tie up with the issue of you know, the testicular cancer. Since testicular cancer affects much younger people, even though it might be much rarer than prostate cancer, I think the sooner we get people to start thinking about self-examination and just checking for these things, it'll make it easier as we get older to also have, I mean, from 14 years old, you can have this thing. I mean, I have my second son is 14, and I'm thinking, what? Man.
Yeah, he needs to do,
you know,
get checking. Yeah.
So I have two boys who are in that age group where they could suffer from this thing, you know, and I can tell you it's something that I'm going to talk to them about.
Yeah.
And if they know about it right now, it will be much easier for them later on to check for prostate cancer.
Yeah.
You know, it's demystifying the whole thing. It's important, and if we can get moms and you know, girlfriends and wives to support people, then it's because I can tell you that the power of women really is something. I mean, there was a time once we had our kids, and you know, we're thinking, okay, what are we gonna do? And you know, said, okay, maybe vasectomy or something, and we talked about it, and in the end, my wife said no, and I mean, it was that whole.
Usually women say yes.
No, it was actually. It's what's funny is I think it was coming from the whole thing of does a vasectomy make him less of a man or whatever, rightly or wrongly. But the point is, you know, I was ready to go and do this thing, and she made the decision and said no. If she had said no, if she had said go, I would have gone. She said no, and she said no, and I didn't.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm making is demonstrating just how much power women do have. You know.
Yeah.
So, ladies, you have your work
more up.
You have to more up.
Yeah.
Anyway, now, doctor. So one of the things which we've been able to determine where prostate cancer is concerned is genetics are not very keen. However, where testicular cancer is concerned, is it lifestyle, genetics? What is the main cause?
Do you know, it's a good question, and they think that cancers, you know, cancers are basically cells that have gone out of control.
Yeah.
Because basically your organs, our body has to be organized. One of the most surreal experiences I had was the second time that this thing came back with this big lump on my neck. I went for a what's called a fine needle aspiration. So I actually went to the lab. This guy took a needle, just sucked out some cells, stained them, put them on a slide on a microscope, and it was a trinocular microscope, so he was looking down and I was also looking down, and it was a 3D because it was in a teaching lab. And there was this disorderly pile of cells. I mean, it was just like a heap of garbage or something. And those were my cells. And when you compared those to the orderliness of what it should have been. It was amazing, and I was looking at these cells and going, these are the things that are going to kill me if not dealt with. And that's what happens. It's just your body cells get out of control. And in the case of testicular cancer, they tend to think it's influences that you had way back when. That's why when you mentioned about diet and the different things we expose our bodies to, you're not wrong. I mean, in the meta-analysis of different studies they've done, alcohol always comes up as something, as adverse.
Yeah.
Exercise always comes up as good. There's a couple of things there. And in the case of testicular, they think maybe it was an exposure that while I was in utero, when I was, that maybe the mother had, that, then, but the answer is they don't really know. But they're definitely these environmental, it's a mixture of genetic and environmental and so on. And I come back to, what Ransom is saying about getting people to, not be afraid of going for testing and so on. First of all, there's no point in going for tests that are inappropriate, and you're running along to do these things. So you just kind of need to know the different things
science,
that affect you. But I think the message is we do have an influence over our bodies and the risks, the risks that we're going to have of such things as cancer and heart disease and so on and so forth.
Because what I'm going to ask...
And this will be your parting shot.
No.
Time flies. Time flies.
We're not having fun. This is a dark topic. Give me more time. I wanted to ask, is it then stuff external? When you were talking about external influences, there was a time when people said there was all these belts that just kept coming in that had a small magnetic strip, and people just dropped the belts because they said the magnetic strip in the belt is killing your thing, and then people said stop keeping mobile phones in your trouser pockets, and then it was don't work with laptops. Peter now uses a tab because it produces less heat, and so all this, it's all these things, and so when you talk about, because the urban legend. Yeah. Is those belts actually you won't find them anywhere in Kampala.
They're now gone.
Because it just someone produced a product and this myth just wiped it off the market. And then you have mobile phones. So you have all these things that people are saying, all these things influence you, they influence. And so I guess people have to be aware. You've got to just take care and read up and know for sure. Know for sure if it's going to affect you or not, I think. I think that's important because if you then rely on myths or urban legends, then you're definitely going to be caught lying down.
All right. Belinda, your parting shots?
Well, my parting shot is to encourage everyone to do the test. Everyone above 40 years old, take advantage of the free opportunities in the month of November to do a test so you can know where you lie. And then, of course, you need to check your lifestyle, like Dr. Ian Clark said. And then we are raising awareness and raising funds for the campaign. We've partnered with Rotary Uganda. And in 2013, we are going to carry out prostate cancer screenings countrywide. We are taking the campaign out of Kampala. We need funds to facilitate the testing in the different parts of the country. So organizations can give their services in kind to help us raise awareness. You can buy shirts like this and wear them every Friday in the month of November. We also have prostate cancer ribbons on sale. And do talk about it. Talk to your sons, talk to your dad, your grandfather, your uncle, your husband. Create opportunities where you can freely talk about prostate cancer, because my belief is that an informed nation makes the right decisions, right? So, use Google, read about it, ask your doctors about it, get all the information that you need to make sure that you put prostate cancer at bay. That's it.
Fantastic. Ransom, your parting shot.
Yeah, Peter, I just think it's everyone needs to be so aware that it's not something that just happens to other people. I think that one of the biggest mistakes that we make is that we always assume that it's the guy next door, or it's a cousin, a second or 3 times removed, or something like that, not realizing that you could be that very person, or your dad or your own son. For me, it's just, I'm thinking about my sons right now, and it's just important to be aware of the facts, and to be aware that a lot of the negative stuff that comes out about your performance, about the connection with HIV and all these things those are not the facts. So check the facts, know where you stand and make sure that you encourage the people that are close to you, because really if we work like that as cells and we encourage those who are close to us, then it can build and have a positive effect. Yeah.
So choose your friends wisely. Have educated friends, Colin. Dr. Clark, your party shot, and I just also need you to just touch on one thing. Treatment in Uganda is generally, actually, health treatment across the world is expensive.
Yeah.
Is that a hindrance to people getting tested? Because I'm not just looking about at those who are able. We've got lots of people out there who are in rural settings and who may not have direct access to modern facilities. Is that a hindrance factor? And if it is, what can they do to take care of that?
That's a big question. That's another program. It is a problem, and I think, as Belinda said, definitely if you catch the thing earlier, your treatment is going to be a lot simpler than if it's caught later. But again, to go back to what Ransom said about people, these politicians and so on, going for treatment, definitely the people who have more means will be able to access the more sophisticated treatments. In Uganda, we have a limited number of urologists who actually treat this thing. We have more, as I said, the Indians, people go out to India and the Indians are coming to us as well. And that treatment's available in certain hospitals. I don't advertise. So I think treatment's a problem because you can pick up. I mean, it's like when I worked in the village. You know, you could pick up risk factors, say, in terms of mothers expecting babies and so on, or if they were in obstructive labour. But if you didn't have a health centre they could go to, then what's the use? So we have to fix our whole health system, you know, in that light. But there is, the earlier you get it, then the simpler the treatment is. And I mean, I come back again to saying, you know, that our health is it's basically our responsibility. Francis Omaswa, who was the previous Director General of Health Services in Uganda, is now retired, said health is made at home and repaired in the health centre. You know, so I think that there still are a lot of things that we can do in terms of reducing our risk factors and staying healthy.
Eat tomatoes.
Yes, tomato juice is actually very good. Great stuff.
I told you. Strong.
All right, you've heard it. Tonight we have been talking about the different cancers that affect young men and old men. It's a men thing. So lifestyles, guys, live proper lifestyles. There's a direct connection. We know what is right, you know what is wrong. Don't forget, we need to hear from you. It's NTV Men on Facebook. Like our page, talk to us. You can send us an email. That's men@NTVUganda. Send us an SMS, 6565. Or follow us on Twitter. That's NTV_men. So have a good night and stay safe in the month of November.
One more depending on a prep, and we all look away. People pretending everywhere. It's just another day. There's bullets flying through the air, and they still carry on. We watch it happen over there, and then just turn